On April 9, 2023, a big earthquake called the Russian Earthquake of the Civil Age happened again. This was a one-of-a-kind event. Many people are sad and getting ready for what could happen. There is a higher chance that the volcano will erupt again, and if it does, the results could be even worse. Before we tell you more, we want you to take a deep breath. In just a few minutes, molten lava could cover the whole world, causing a lot of damage and deaths. Before the volcano erupts, it's best to stay tuned till the end of the video so you can learn as much as possible. It can give you important information. Shivuluk volcano is the most northern active volcano in the world. It is in the Russian province of Kamchatka. Along with Karimsky, it is one of the largest, most active, and most often erupting volcanoes in the Kamchatka area. In fact, Shivuluk is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. It is even more active than the ones in the Grand Canyon. Every year it sends out about 0.1 kilometers cubed of magma, which causes huge hot avalanches and lava domes to form at the top. If you are interested, we can tell you how tall it is. The Shivuluk volcano is 3,283 feet above sea level, which is a very high point. Even just knowing this can make you feel like you're going up against a powerful opponent like Goliath. Its size shows how dangerous the volcano could be. With over 60 eruptions recorded, the history of the volcano's eruptions is a key part of how it acts now. Each eruption has its own unique features that teach us a lot about how volcanoes work and how they change over time. By looking at how these things happened, we can learn more about how the Shivuluk volcano has changed over time. It is important to remember that the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens had a big effect on the area around it and changed it for good. When you think about what happened at Mount St. Helens, where about 85 people died, the fact that there have been 15 similar eruptions near Shivuluk makes you worry. This similarity makes us think about what might happen after an eruption like this. To put things in perspective, the number of deaths at Mount St. Helens is close to the number of people who were living there at that time and place. If something like what happened in Los Angeles in 1980 happened today, there would probably be a lot more people killed. The previous number is just a reflection of the population at that time, which shows that there could be more deaths in the current situation. The 5 on the difficulty index shows how powerful and destructive the lava flow that came out of the ground was. It destroyed everything in its path. The government of the US has said that this was one of the worst things to ever happen to the country. Think about how scary it would be if this same disaster happened more than 15 times in a row at the same place. Such a thing happening again would be very upsetting, like a tyrant being cruel to their people. What makes it even scarier is that it hasn't stopped erupting since 1999. It seems like the volcano is trying to get people's attention by making its presence known over and over again. This needs our attention, because ignoring it could lead to things we didn't expect. The eruption stands out because it has what is called a prostatic flow. This word describes a fast flow of hot gas and volcanic material moving along the ground at speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. It is a scary thing that could cost people their lives. Prostatic flows cause a lot of damage and are feared by everyone because they look like lava flows and piles of ash and have a lot of destructive power. In short, the number of people who could die, the destructive nature of the eruption, and the volcano's constant activity all show how important and urgent it is to understand and deal with this explosive situation. Nevertheless, the Shivuluk wands present a more significant danger. What kind of danger would that pose? To begin, the high temperature and high velocity of prostatic discharge are two factors that contribute to the destructive nature of this phenomenon. The eruption at Mont Pel in Martinique, West Indies in 1922 resulted in the production of a pyroclastic flow, which is also referred to as a newer ardent flow in some instances. The coastal city of Saint-Pierre was completely wiped out due to the unrelenting brutality of the attackers. The disaster was responsible for the deaths of at least 30,000 people. We haven't even started to think about how the possibility of lava flow, which is just as powerful but moves a lot more slowly than the other options. The studies that scientists have conducted indicate that when lava flows, it has a propensity to destroy everything that is in its path. At this point in time, you most likely do not wish to hear any further information regarding ash bloom. However, there is no need to be concerned about anything because we will make things easy for you to understand. To begin, you need to be aware that inhaling ash from volcanoes can do just as much harm to your lungs as breathing in COVID-19, which is the agent responsible for the severe contamination of the water supply. In addition to this, depending on the strength of their forces at the time of the attack, they may also be capable of destroying other structures, such as homes. Weight. One of the primary reasons why you should be concerned about this is something that we haven't yet discussed, and you should consider this to be one of those reasons. What actions would you take if you found yourself unable to escape a room in which you were trapped? This is precisely what will take place when all of the ash that was produced by the volcanoes finally arrives. Researchers have hypothesized that they could have an effect on the frequency with which people fly in aeroplanes. Some people think that this situation is very dangerous, and we have to face the harsh fact that earthquakes can kill a lot of people. The size of the tragedy is directly related to how many people were there at the time. Because of this, it is very important that we put the safety of each person first. As caring people live in the modern world, we need to pay full attention to the urgent story of how to prepare for an earthquake. Let's now turn our attention to the real risks that lie ahead and work on ways to deal with them. Experts from Russia and other countries are worried about a storm that is coming and is seen as a serious threat by most people. With all of their knowledge and hard work, they have tried to show the harsh reality of the situation. Even though people were skeptical at first, what happened on November 22, 2022 led to a devastating volcanic eruption in 2023. This shows that the truth is unchangeable, regardless of whether or not people accept it. Every piece of information fits together to give a full picture of the immediate danger that is coming. This year has proven beyond a doubt that the experts were right, leaving little room for reasonable disagreement unless someone chooses to be irrational. Recently, a big dome started to form on top of the Russian volcano. The dome's formation has meanings that go far beyond being pretty or funny. Instead, it's a physical reminder of the potential disaster that could happen in the future. We need to pay attention and work together to get through this uncertain path while keeping an open mind. Under a lot of pressure, a very important discovery has been made. Research has shown that domes can collapse, especially during volcanic eruptions, causing dangerous landslides. Even though the situation is very dangerous, it looks like it could be handled based on what we know now. If this was the final conclusion, it would give me much-needed peace of mind. But it's important to remember that landslides rarely happen by themselves. Instead, they often set off a chain of other problems. Even though it's hard to say for sure whether or not these things will happen, that doesn't mean it's safe. What kind of damage could be caused by these landslides? Their potential to cause trouble is wide, ranging from small problems to major disasters. Still, the most likely thing to happen is the second one. In particular, we have to deal with the scary reality of a tsunami, which happens near the coast and can be caused by things that happen on the ground. When hearing about a tsunami caused by an eruption, you shouldn't underestimate how bad the damage will be because tsunamis have a lot of destructive power. Things and buildings often show signs of wear and tear, which are signs of how much time has passed. When we talk about the skeleton, we're not just talking about its length and width. This is a good time to look at how volcanoes have left lasting marks on the world. In reality, these are not things that set most volcanoes apart, but the volcano we're talking about today has two large cracks, one in the southeast and one in the southwest. At the moment, these cracks are sleeping, which is a perfectly normal state of affairs. Still, the fact that they have the potential to become powerful forces is a fascinating aspect of their untapped potential. Their transformation into awe-inspiring beings is affected by many things, like how the currents of life work together. Think about the ups and downs, the rhythmic dance of these forces, which is a lot like how a river moves with purpose and determination along its path. There was a good reason for the warnings, which emphasized how deadly and quickly the danger was coming. When there is only one scar that can be folded, like the south scar, it is easier to handle the situation. But having two scars makes them very dangerous, because they can use their speed to attack from both sides at the same time. In this case, People in the area might be caught off guard and not have enough time to think about what to do. This is similar to how nighttime burglars take advantage of people who are sleeping. When we think about the fact that some authorities have called this area a red zone and that Russian authorities are in charge of keeping a close eye on it, we can see how serious the situation is. On April 11, 2023, something bad happened that taught us lessons we should never forget. In the evening, Russia's most active volcano erupted while most people were sleeping, their minds still captivated by the beauty of the natural world they had just spent time in. Even though Russia and Ukraine are still fighting, this event is so important that it became the most important thing that happened that week and month. Not surprisingly, the eruption happened on the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Far East, a place that is used to natural disasters like this and is thought to be safe. But because of things that weren't planned, it took a while for people to notice the eruption. The situation got worse when the volcano started spewing ash, which covered the towns and made it hard to see what was going on around them. Those who didn't pay attention to what was going on found themselves gasping for air and unable to get help because of the volcanic dust. Danila Chemrov, who was in charge of the Kamchatka branch, said that the ash had spread an amazing 20 kilometers, which was more than 12 times farther than what was expected at first. These scary things are more than just scary stories or scary scientific news. They are signs of doom that is coming closer and closer to our homes and businesses. When one volcano continues to boil and threaten to do damage, many others join it. In the face of this scary fact, we urge you, dear viewers, to share your thoughts and ideas in the comment box below, because the collective wisdom of many people can shed light on paths that cannot be seen. If you found this video helpful, please like and share the video, as well as subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.